This program contains scenes of actual law enforcement video that may be disturbing to some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Tonight, on Most Shocking, a boxed-in car thief rams police, forcing officers to fight horsepower with firepower. And a desperate fugitive refuses to give up, then opens fire on a SWAT team. Plus,
get your hands up.
When a murder suspect is ordered to surrender,
Get your hands up.
he reaches for his gun. But first, an escaped convict runs cops off the road. But officers catch up to him in a cemetery. This is not a movie. Everything you're about to see is real. Brace yourself. This is Most Shocking. Deadly Force.
Houston County, Georgia. Police chase an escaped prisoner. Even more dangerous, the driver holds his girlfriend hostage while he plays a deadly game with his pursuers. Sergeant Eric Barnett is right on the suspect's tail.
We went approximately 3 or 4 miles in the chase, and he started pointing an object out the window at me that I believed to be a small black handgun.
The prospect of a shootout has Barnett and his colleagues doing all they can to end this pursuit without bloodshed.
Not again. We had just been involved in a shooting 9 months before. I started praying, help us out, Lord. I don't want to die. I want to go home.
Other units join Barnett. They box in the runaway crook, hoping to get him off the road now. The wrong car gets pitted. An officer is violently thrown off the road.
It made me extremely mad. I knew at that point he was not going to let anything get in his way, and it escalated to another level.
The chase leaves the highway and speeds down busy side streets, risking innocent lives.
He was weaving in and out of traffic. There's a good chance he's going to wreck, and when he wrecks, he's going to hurt somebody else.
Suddenly, he hits the brakes and wheels into a cemetery.
I basically knew we had him. There's one entrance and one exit into the cemetery.
The renegade hits a dead end. Officers order him to surrender, but he points a weapon, leaving police no choice but to defend themselves.
Never in my 12 years have I seen somebody just stop and get out and try to start shooting. He was trying to kill us. I immediately became incredibly scared, feared, in fear of my life, in fear of the other officers' lives that were involved with this.
In the furious barrage of bullets, police aim carefully. They don't want to hit the innocent girlfriend. The shooting stops. Cops creep forward through the tombstones. The suspect is gravely wounded. officers rescue the terrified woman from the truck.
Hold that thing down.
Amazingly, she survives without a single injury.
She was out of it. She was extremely hysterical. She had just seen her boyfriend get killed, basically. She gave the statement. His last words to her was, "I love you, but I'm not going back to jail."
The driver was Todd Screws, and police make a grim discovery when they reach his body.
I observed him with his hands stretched out, acting as if he had a weapon in his hand. Come to find out, he had a remote control in his hand. The suspect ultimately committed what's commonly referred to as suicide by cop. A suspect wants to die, but they do not have the courage to do it themselves.
Barnett and his fellow officers did all they could to avoid this tragic outcome.
Nobody in law enforcement likes shooting anybody. It's one of the most terrifying things that you can go through. It's something that I never want to be involved in again, and hopefully I never will be.
Whittier, California. Police corner a car thief. A week earlier, he escaped a shootout with authorities. Now, with guns pointed at him, he's trying to do it again.
Now he's turning around.
The defiant driver has his girlfriend with him, making law enforcement's job even tougher. Officers box him in, but he refuses to stop.
He's ramming that police car.
The cops are under attack and forced to protect themselves. Then, a welcome sight. The suspect raises his hands out the sunroof in surrender. In an effort to protect the innocent passenger, officers aim their bullets through the driver's side. The precision pays off. The man is wounded in the shoulder. Emergency personnel treat him before he's taken into custody. More importantly, the woman emerges from the gun-blasted wreckage, safe and unscathed.
He's turning around.
Her boyfriend put her life in mortal danger. Fortunately, officers' aim was true, getting their man and saving her life. League City, Texas.
15, just for information, the vehicle in the shooting still has 3 Hispanic males.
Cruisers catch up with an SUV reportedly used in a murder. Sergeant Dan Krieger orders the driver off the road.
Get your hands in the air. Stay in your vehicle.
I was responding to what dispatch had broadcast. They put out the murder just happened. At that point, every officer in the county is looking for this vehicle.
Driver, step out of the vehicle. Face forward. Face forward. Turn around.
The suspects make no attempt to flee.
Right front seat passenger. Walk backwards.
The driver and passenger obey Krieger's commands.
Lay down and get your hands behind your back.
But the man from the back seat starts acting suspicious.
Walk backwards. No, walk backwards.
His name is Balin Uriostiki, and he's the man they're after. Detective Amato Isnaga moves into position. Years of training and intuition have him on high alert.
Just starts clicking in your head, this guy's gonna do something. Yeah, I'm thinking that, it's like, I'm just waiting for it to happen at this point.
Walk backwards. Like that.
Just when it looks like the arrest will go down peacefully, the suspect reaches for a gun.
Get your hands up.
reached down with his left hand to pull up his jersey, time slowed down for me dramatically. My heartbeat went to a million beats a second.
10 shots hit the man.
The first 2 bullets hit him in the wrist area and actually shot the pistol out of his hand.
Left hand clear. Gun under here.
I happened to look over at the guy's hand, the suspect's hand, and he's making a fist with his hand, and his trigger finger is still trying to pull the trigger of a gun that isn't in his hand anymore.
Officers try to aid the man, but his wounds prove fatal.
I got him. Just do what you gotta do, dog.
The scene is a terrifying reminder of the danger an officer faces every day.
Walk backwards. Do not face me. Turn around.
In this case, a suspect who's not only willing to die,
Get your hands up.
but wanted to take a cop down with him.
Next, an ex-con runs from the law, then opens fire when he's ordered to surrender. Plus, a daring crook sticks up a casino and tries to shoot his way out. When Most Shocking, Deadly Force returns.
Bowling Green, Ohio. An ex-convict, Dante Henry, leads deputies on a dangerous chase, jeopardizing the safety of everyone on the road. Even worse, he's armed with 2 handguns and wearing a bulletproof vest. Deputy Greg Panning keeps pace, but this is a punishing pursuit.
At one point, I think I was up near 115 miles an hour. I know when he was driving through the median, he was approximately 90 miles an hour. How he kept control, I have no idea.
Officers use spikes to blow out the tires.
You got him. You got him. You got him. You got him. Left side rear tire is flat.
The suspect veers off the freeway.
He is going to get off. He's getting off at 103. He has exit at 103.
His tire's gone. The gunman searches for a new car to steal. Deputy Panning tries to stop him before he does more damage.
Henry, 437, I have been struck.
Henry refuses to stop and races across the road toward a gas station. He spots a potential victim, a female, alone in a Ford Explorer. Cops try to cut him off before he can reach the woman, but they're ambushed.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
On the other side of this van, the suspect takes the woman hostage and hunkers down inside her SUV, brazenly firing more rounds at officers.
He took the first shot at Trooper Hernandez, took a shot at Trooper Leitenberger.
The gunman holds officers at bay. Deputies are caught in a terrifying situation, a gun battle in a public place.
It sounded like a machine gun going off.
An officer is wounded trying to save the hostage.
Get out of my car now! Leitenberger's pretty bad in the head.
Panning grabs a shotgun and bravely steps forward.
I could see the suspect actually firing over his shoulder. I could see the muzzle flash. After I fired my 4th shot, the shooting from within that Ford Explorer had stopped.
Incredibly, the shell-shocked hostage runs to safety. But the gunman is still inside the car and could be gearing up for more battle.
We knew that we had to react quick. He was either severely wounded or he was reloading.
We'll go for the passenger side. I'll cover you. I'll yank up in the door. I'll get the back.
Panning and the other deputies get ready to put their lives on the line.
Okay. I see the head. Okay. I see the head.
It's over. Deputy Panning's shots ended this nightmare. Fortunately, the hostage escapes without a scratch.
He could have shot the female that was in the Explorer. He could have started shooting as he's going down the road. Things could have got a lot worse.
Rather than surrender, the ex-con chose to fight.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Luckily, no officers paid the ultimate price for his fateful decision. Las Vegas, Nevada. Security cameras focus on a man prowling the Gold Coast casino. His shifty behavior draws the attention of Security Chief Dick Whitaker.
The surveillance agent up here had been alerted just because of his actions. He actually was moving around different cameras to following him.
But the eye in the sky can't stop what happens next. The man brandishes a pistol at the cashier.
He took the gun, opened up the cylinder, closed it, and then actually cocked the gun, showing it to the teller.
He even threatens the customer at the next window.
He demanded money and at the same time told the person next to her to be quiet or he would kill her.
The frightened cashier isn't moving fast enough. So the thief storms the cash booth. The woman suddenly realizes she has seen this man before.
It so happened that this teller had been a victim of a robbery earlier by the same subject.
In fact, he held up this casino just 6 months earlier. And it looks like he could get away with it again. The robber rushes past the slot machines, makes a clean getaway into the street, but suddenly loses his haul of cash.
The suspect had put the money in a plastic bag. The bag hit a post from the handicap sign and ripped the bag open, spreading the money all over the parking area.
Security tries to stop him.
The first officer arriving never even had a chance to draw his weapon. As soon as he got out, he was being fired upon.
The guard is hit. A second unit arrives. But priority is given to helping the man who's down.
The officer who got hurt, his life was actually saved by the Medicare that my officers gave to him.
The gunman escapes into an apartment complex. Fortunately, the security man survives. The casino recovers the stolen money. And this video will hopefully lead to the bandit's arrest.
Coming up, a murder suspect on the run is cut off by police, then tries to blast his way past a blockade. And a gun-wielding driver hits a dead-end street, but refuses to surrender. Next on Most Shocking, Deadly Force.
Torrance, California. An armed murder suspect leads police on a perilous high-speed chase. Detective Gene Peterson knows there's nothing more dangerous than a man willing to kill or be killed to get away.
The way he was driving, the way he was waving his gun, the speeds he was going, it was definitely somebody was going to die.
Cops hope to stop him before it comes to that. A patrolman moves in and executes a daring pit maneuver. The chase comes to a screeching halt. Officers surround the vehicle, but the driver still won't give up.
Well, normally, after pit maneuver is done, the suspect would decide that it was time to give up. This person obviously wasn't going to do that.
Instead of raising his hands, the fugitive waves his weapon.
You have a very desperate suspect that has a gun in his hand. It could be a life-threatening situation to anybody out there.
Minutes pass as the gunman refuses to exit the car. A SWAT truck blocks his escape in a last-ditch effort to end this without gunfire.
There was nowhere else to go. He had to stop and had to give up. It was over. It was done.
Without warning, the suspect shoots through the back window.
I saw a puff of smoke come out through the rear windshield. At that point, the officers returned fire to stop him from firing.
A flurry of gunshots, then dead silence. The SWAT team inches closer to the bullet-riddled car. They break out the windows and find the man mortally wounded. Cops grab his weapon and remove it.
All in all, they did everything that they should do to try to protect the public, protect themselves. They had to use deadly force to stop them.
Rowlett, Texas. Lieutenant Craig Watson closes in on a black sedan. The driver is suspected of terrorizing other cars.
The people that reported the incident had said that he pointed a gun with them and cursed at them.
Watson stays close, waiting for more units.
He knew that I was behind him. I didn't want to turn on the emergency lights yet because I didn't have other units with me yet.
The car turns into a residential neighborhood.
Hear it when he's turning.
And speeds away.
I was afraid that he might try to get to a friend's house or his own house, and I wanted to prevent that from happening. Okay, he's running.
Backup arrives. The suspect is trapped on a dead-end road. Watson hopes the man will give up peacefully. But then, the driver aims a gun out the window and fires. A bullet narrowly misses Watson. The officer returns fire. As the shooter's car rolls to an eerie stop, Watson takes cover.
Let me see him!
The gunman doesn't respond.
At that time, I didn't know if he had been shot, if he was alive, if he was dead, if he was planning a response. I didn't know what he was doing.
Police hold their fire, giving the man another chance to surrender.
Let me see your hands right now! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
And I knew that he was still in there. I knew that he still had a gun.
You all right? Yeah, I'm good. I don't like this.
The other officers move into position.
Drop it. Drop it. Drop what you have in your hand. Put your other hand up where I can see it.
Tense moments pass. Then, a patrolman spots the man in the back seat.
Townsend said he can see his right hand.
His hands are empty.
Right hand. Move up this side. Okay, I still got the right hand.
They close in.
It's a stressful situation, and there wasn't a lot of time to analyze, and it was an automatic response.
Take him out.
Cops pull him from the car, still cautious.
Okay, now we can keep him there. So crossfire, watch crossfire.
The man is wounded, but alive. He's sentenced to 75 years for attempted capital murder. Watson walks away, knowing that this night could have been his last.
I definitely feel lucky to be alive. I think that he was willing to do anything that he had to do in order to evade the police and to stay free.
Next, an angry suspect takes aim at officers, leaving them no choice but to take action. Then, a mob opens fire on police, seriously injuring a cop. Straight ahead on Most Shocking, Deadly Force.
Shreveport, Louisiana. What starts as a simple traffic stop quickly escalates into a full-fledged pursuit.
Unit 7 responding.
Police are left to wonder what this hard-charging suspect has to hide. Officers slow at each red light, willing to lose their man to protect innocent lives. Eventually, they decide to end the chase. They're about to let him get away, but then the driver slows down and wheels into a parking lot. It looks like the chase will end without incident, but the man jumps out. Suddenly, he takes aim. Watch closely. As the lead cruiser pulls in behind the suspect, he appears to reach for something in the front seat. He then hops out, taking aim at an officer. A cop grabs hold of him, but the man escapes his grip. The first officer fires. The man ignores commands to stop and aims again. The officer ducks for his life. Police have no choice but to fire again. That's when they make a shocking discovery. The suspect wasn't brandishing a firearm. It was a cell phone, held and pointed like an actual gun. He forced a split-second decision from authorities that had deadly consequences. Quito, Ecuador. A violent protest erupts against economic reform. Rioters take to the streets, armed with rocks, bottles, and even guns. Heavy artillery is called in to restore order, but it only enrages the seething crowd. Police attempt to control the mayhem with tear gas. They position and fire. And then, horror. An officer is down. As Deputy Carlos Clajivo shoots a gas canister, a rioter returns fire with a 9mm. Remarkably, the cop's still alive. He's carried out of the line of fire, while the gunman escapes into the raging mob. Fearing Clajivo may have only minutes to live, civilians rush him to the hospital in a pickup truck. Doctors manage to remove the slug. Miraculously, the deputy survives his fateful brush with death.
Coming up, a woman threatens police with a knife, forcing them to take drastic action. And when a fleeing suspect shoots at officers, his family gets caught in the crossfire. That's next on Most Shocking, Deadly Force.
Jackson, Michigan. Police converge at the scene of a volatile situation. This woman claims that one of her roommates tried to kill her.
She said there she had a knife to my throat.
Who had a knife to your throat?
My roommate, she was nuts.
Where's the knife at now?
I don't know if she still has it in her hand or not. I just barely escaped out of the back door.
A female officer takes the lead in the dangerous standoff.
Tell me exactly what she was just up. It's not my fault. Okay.
Police soon realize there's a problem. Another roommate is still trapped inside with the knife-wielding woman. The suspect answers the door, blade in hand. The officer pleads with her to drop it.
Put it down. Put it down. No. Put your hand. Put it down. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
The cop stumbles down the steps in retreat, desperate to avoid a confrontation.
Listen, you don't want to do this, okay?
But all hope of ending this peacefully is soon lost. With a scream, the woman raises her knife and charges, forcing police to shoot. The 7-inch blade flies down the sidewalk. An ambulance rushes to the scene. The officer is clearly shaken by what's just happened.
Oh my gosh.
Paramedics step in and fight to save the woman's life. They won't succeed. It's the kind of moment every cop hopes will never happen.
Put it down. Listen, you don't want to do this, okay? Put it down.
And this officer did all she could to prevent it.
Oh my gosh.
Central Mexico. Officers bust 3 brothers involved in a car theft ring. One of them is pulled away and questioned, while the other two swear they're innocent. Family members intervene, trying to prevent the arrest. Making matters worse. Tensions rise. Then, one brother tries to run away. Police are on his tail. And so is his family. Shots ring out. The fleeing suspect opens up with a hail of gunfire. His sister screams for him to stop. But he keeps shooting. Finally, police overtake the car thief. And carry him off. The family comes to his defense. But the cops have had enough. They subdue the man while struggling with his mother and sister. The three brothers are convicted and are now serving hard time.
Next, a violent crash puts an end to a chase, but starts a furious gun battle. When Most Shocking Deadly Force returns.
Perry, Georgia. Sergeant Chad Payne spots a speeding pickup. He doesn't know why the driver isn't stopping.
I had no information at all. It was just the fact that he was speeding.
Behind him, Sergeant Chris Sutcliffe races in as backup and realizes the driver has made a blunder.
We're going to the sharp turn down here by Riverwood, where they'll probably watch out.
I'm already notifying my dispatcher and the other units that are coming that there's going to be an accident.
Seconds later, Sutcliffe's prediction comes true.
Okay, we just 1050 out, right here at the bridge.
Get around the curve, I see the vehicle has hit a telephone pole. A pretty violent crash.
Sutcliffe pulls in behind Payne, who's ordering everyone from the truck.
Get on the ground now! Get on the ground now!
They're surprised to find it's just 4 teenagers, and one has a bloody face from hitting the windshield.
My initial reaction is the situation is diffused. It sort of turns from a police officer in pursuit to a police officer needs to render aid.
As Payne heads for a medical kit, Sutcliffe tries to free a female from the crumpled truck. His assessment matches Payne's.
I thought, okay, this is a bunch of dumb kids. Fun's over for them.
At that moment, a third officer reaches the crash site. His name is Eric Barnett, and his presence will prove crucial.
When I arrived, Chad and Chris Sutcliffe are already on scene. The vehicle's wrecked.
What the officers don't know is that these rampaging kids have been on a multi-state crime spree, and they're about to add Georgia to their hit list.
Keep your hands where we can see them. Keep your hands where we can see them. No! Shots fired. Officer in trouble. Officer in trouble. Shots fired. Keep your hands where we can see them.
I just remember my arm being up next to my head, and my ears started to ring.
Sutcliffe takes a direct hit. A second shot misses his face by inches. Payne draws the gunman's fire as Sutcliffe rolls into the woods.
I knew Chris would be killed if I didn't react in the right way.
Barnett bravely runs straight into the line of fire.
I don't remember pulling my weapon. I don't remember squeezing off the first 5 or 6 shots.
Barnett takes a moment to reload. Sutcliffe still lies bleeding in the woods.
I had a vision of my wife at a funeral, and I thought, screw that. It's not going to happen.
The officer finds the strength to escape. But Sergeant Payne knows this shootout isn't over.
After Chris was shot, he dropped his service weapon.
As Barnett tries to locate the suspect locates the fallen gun and opens fire. Barnett takes cover behind a tire and shoots back.
Well, from the back.
Bullets strike the man's legs, and one glances off his head. He throws the gun aside and crumples in pain. Barnett slowly moves in, fearing the fugitive might have another gun. The sergeant overtakes the shooter, but he's seriously shaken by the point-blank gunfight.
I was physically sick to my stomach. It's by far the scariest thing in my life that I've ever been through.
Officer Barnett receives a commendation for his courage in the line of duty. The shooter survives and gets 107 years for this blatant attempt on Chris Sutcliffe's life.
He showed absolutely no remorse for shooting a cop. He said his only wish was that the cop would have died.
To these brothers in blue, a life behind bars is well-deserved for this would-be cop killer.
If his skinny little butt has to sit in jail, that'll be more pain on him than it will be going to death. So I hope he sits and rots.
These are the heart-stopping stories of police officers who risked their lives in gun battles,
Get your hands up!
braving bullets in their daily fight to keep our streets safe.